We're live.
We're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gruber's Quilt Shop on this beautiful Monday evening in Minnesota. So we have a beautiful, I think it's a starry night out there tonight. So thank you for joining us. Tonight, in the end of the year, we always have a special guest, or we try to. In the most time, we can't do anything. This year, we can't do much with it, but I have known this beautiful little girl here forever, and that's why I can call her little girl yet, because it was high school, wasn't it?
I was 19, yeah, when I first started coming to Gruber's.
Oh. You were really good. You were a machine quilter, and the patterns and stuff that you came up with were amazing. So anyway, this is Heather Mulder Peterson. Back when we knew her, she was Heather Mulder, and she's gone on to do amazing stuff. So tonight you get to see a little taste of what Heather does. I'm going to turn the microphone over to her mostly, and I'll step back. If you have questions, we have Maureen behind. We've been tested, we're safe and everything, so normally we would be wearing our masks, but we are both non-positive. We're all good. We are very good. So this is Heather. Welcome everybody, and welcome to meeting Heather. Heather came out with a new book. She has many books out, and we'll share those with you too. This is her third table runner book. I'll show you the first one. This one's out of print, so you can't get this one anymore. And do we have one? We don't have any. We don't have. Oh, we have one left. Oh, this is going to be special. We're not going to sell it. This is going to be a drawing for something. If you place an order tonight, by tomorrow noon, somebody's going to win this awesome book. So this is her very first. I remember when you came in Gruber's and you were asking what are people looking for, and you may not remember that because we were still down where Robert's Jewelry is, so that's how long ago. But I remember you coming in and saying, what are people looking for, Sue? I said, Heather, table runners. And then you came out with a book. So I'm really happy with that.
So if they share?
If you share. Yep, like and share. That's where Maureen steps in. If you like and share, by tomorrow noon, one of you guys is going to get her original table runner book.
And comment that you share.
Good. Did you guys hear that? So you have to comment and
we'll comment that they share, and then
comment that you shared.
Like and share.
Yep, comment that you share so that we know that you did it, and do it several times, and you can load the ballot box. But yeah, this is a great book. See both sides of it. This is original. 15 different table runners. She did an awesome job. So that's her first one. And it's $19.50 value. Then, tell them about this one.
Yeah, I had so much fun doing the first one. I love table runners. I love instant gratification, and I have 2 little boys, so my chance to actually sew usually involves a small project. So I decided to keep up with that theme of table runners and did another set of different types of things. Probably a little bit more seasonal and a few other projects that I have some of those with to show, so you'll get to see a few of them in person.
So this is number 2, and this book is in existence, and it is $21. So we're covering these kind of quickly because she has a lot of other really cool stuff to talk about. And then, like I said, the number 3, drum roll. This is beautiful. And this is the one that we are going to do one every month of this year. So we are starting out with Valentine's Day, but you're going to walk through.
Yeah.
I'll hold it. You talk about it.
Yeah, so like I said, because I've done so many table runners and I love to use them for decorating for the season, so I like to do, like, this is going to be like what I would have out in my house in February. So if you look, you can see there's little easy blocks right here that form hearts. And when you put them together, you get sort of this, cool little block that happens with all the hearts coming together. And this one is done using a charm pack. So if you have a charm pack handy, all you need is a background to go with it, and you have what you need for the project. And you can get the whole runner done with just one charm pack.
We will have kits of this. Do we have the kits here?
Yeah, it's right there.
Because it's really cute.
Should we slide this way? We're connected with a microphone, so we're going to slide together.
Yeah, but I'm going to try not to drop it because that would be really sad and bad, right?
If you want to hand it to me, I can hold it while you grab the kit, so you can hold up what fabrics you have for choices.
This is the really cute, adorable. This will be our first one. This is going to happen in Sue's Sewing on Wednesdays. So the first Wednesday of every month, we will be covering the table runner to show you how to make it. So this is our first one that will happen in January. Oh.
And I brought a color option with this to
I
show you what
like
happens
that.
if you're not a red person. Maybe you'd like to try pink or another color background. So
Adorable. Super adorable. All right. Do you want to move?
Or we can.
are you ready for me to move on? You guys all heard that they're going to do one each month. So we started with the February one as a seasonal. I think they said they were going to do this one next.
Yep. That's going to be February, March.
So that's another little charm project. And of course you can always use your stash, but if you happen to have a pre-cut, that one is really quick to cut. Again, you just need a background and your charm pack to be able to make that. And just to show you where that came from, I had initially done it as a larger pattern in my, the last book before this. And this was called Easy Peasy Plaid, and it used a jelly roll or a fat eighth. And because it was so popular from the book, I thought I needed to do a small size that you could use as a table runner. So that's why I did this little project. And then I'll show you a color option I have. This is what happens when you use a white background instead of gray. So anything that's going to make those colors pop, can be light, dark, anything that's kind of a good contrast is going to make an interesting pattern with that one. And this one is my Snowdin Fabric collection, which will come out next May, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go a little further.
It's a super cute line. We ordered all of it, a lot. And we didn't even have you coming yet. We just really liked it.
Thank you.
So
it
you
was
guys,
really fun to do.
It is. So you guys, I've told you about Kate Fawcett saying your background should always be gray. So look what the two different fabrics, the two runners look like, with one with gray background and one with the white. The white really makes this pop, but that's because you have really strong contrast fabrics. That's why it works really
I love
well.
contrast. So yeah, that's one of my main goals usually with every quilt, is to have enough contrast that it makes the pattern pop out.
Absolutely. And that's why your fabrics are so great all the time, Heather, because they're not 30s fabrics and they're not Civil War fabrics. They're just solid, beautiful palette fabrics. They're great.
What I was telling Sue before we came on camera is that I try to blend a little bit of traditional with the modern, so I can draw in some of the customers who like a little bit traditional but a little bit brighter, but not quite as wild as the modern. So I'm kind of taking the middle road there, and so that's why a lot of my patterns and colors look this way. And I just love the way that gray makes everything, I mean, it goes with everything, so it makes everything pop out.
It's such a clean fabric. It's just pretty.
And a very on-trend color.
Yep.
So let's go on to this little table runner next. Maybe I'll just kind of go in order on our way around.
Absolutely.
So this is just a super easy little, I mean, it's just made with half square triangles. And there's a little technique that I show you in the book that you cut your squares and you lay them out, and then you move the top block over on your little stacks, and it rearranges your colors and puts them in order for you.
Oh, cool.
So that might be something you want to peek at later.
Oh, yeah,
it just makes it a little bit easier to get all the colors in the right position. And then I wanted to show you I have it in a springier combination. So you can see it with the gray, or again with a little bit more.
So when is Easter this year? Because that's a pretty Easter one.
Yeah, sometime in April. I don't
I
know.
That's always one holiday. We never know when it is. But that would look really pretty as a springish one. Mm-hmm. Very pretty.
Yeah, this could really go for any season. This was my Wildflower boutique collection, which came out in September. So it's kind of a late summer collection. But yeah, here it is in a very spring combination, and it works with both.
But that one really went really well with came out with a line right before that one, didn't you? That we called it our summer collection. It was really bright and happy.
The summer one came after it, but they kind of both worked together.
So well. So well together.
Okay, this is the summer collection we were just talking about.
Yes.
This was done with my Shades of Summer fabric collection. And I love anything that has sort of an interlocking kind of plaid graphic design. So that's where these stems kind of weave their way through the flower blocks. And I don't have a second option for that one. But I know Sue does still have some of these fabrics in the store. So if you want to look for Shades of Summer, that's the name on that collection. The next two in line here are also done with that same fabric collection. And I didn't mention this is also 5-inch squares. This one you could do with 5-inch squares. There's a little bit of waste that way, but you could also use a little bit bigger cut, like a 4x8 or a 6-inch. So you just need a background, and again, something high contrast. So I left a lot of the reds out of the piecing so that the little twinkly border showed up.
So how big are your half square triangles there?
They're cut 2 7/8, so they're 2-inch finished. And then I brought this one with to show you, because this is what I would use for a patriotic table runner in the summer. So again, I swapped out that background. I love colored backgrounds, as you'll see when I show you a few more projects. And again, a high contrast print right here is what makes all those little scrappy pieces show out or pop out.
Yep, does it really nicely.
So it could be generic, like I said, or it could be 4th of July, like that one. This one is definitely like in August with the watermelons. I think that's when they're ripe in Minnesota. So this one also uses 5-inch squares to make the little plaid center of the table runner. Then this piece right here is a strip unit, and you can either use my triangular template, which is out of print, but I know a lot of you who have followed my work before, you may already have this in your stash. So that's what that angle is cut with. And you can also email me, and I can email you the template for it. It's also included in the book. So just depending on how you like to do that, I like acrylic templates as opposed to paper, cardboard, or plastic or whatever.
I think Gruber's has 4 of those left in stock.
Only 4.
Only 4.
Might be the only ones you find.
So, yeah. So don't hesitate. If you guys are liking this, you can run away to our website, but come on back. So it's under Sue's Facebook favorites, right?
Yep. So you go.
So you can tell them. So if you want to, if you go to Gruber's Quilt Shop, and if you go to our website, on the front page it has Sue's Facebook faves. And if you look under that, you're going to find everything that we're talking about tonight on there. And one of them is the triangular tool.
So it was initially put out to go with the Angles with Ease book. So that's why I said some of you may already have
and that's a
the
great
template.
book. That's a great book. And that tool makes everything in there just perfect.
Yeah, it's a technique where you make strip units for most things. Like this quilt starts out as a strip unit. You wouldn't guess that by looking at it, but just by using the strip unit and the tool, you can make this more complicated looking quilt.
There's a few things I made in there. It's like there's no way I would have made them, and they turned out just perfect. I'm like, huh, all right then.
There are easier ways to do things. It's fun to find them.
Well, it was all thanks to the tool that helped it, because I wouldn't have done that on my own. It was good. Very good. Alrighty.
Okay, so then let's maybe move to this one right here.
That's cute.
I think I called it Autumn Garden. This book just came out a week ago, and I'm still trying to remember the names. I always do the names the very last. Like the night before the book is turned into the printer, I have to nail down the names. And so it takes me a little while to get them in my memory. So this one also uses scraps or 5-inch squares. You need a background to go with that, and we've got the green grass in the bottom and then the floral kind of framing in the blue sky. There aren't any templates in that one. It's all done with folded corners and rectangles, so it's super easy, even though it looks like there's a lot going on. It's not a hard one to put together.
It's really cute.
But I love anything with cone flowers, so
I know you do.
I've done a few of those before.
Yep. But I like how they almost look soft. So with your piecing, it doesn't look like it's pieced, because there's such a softness to them when they're going around. And your machine quilting obviously helps it, but
yeah,
they
quilting
are
can help
adorable.
enhance. But yeah, if you look close, there's just a tiny little folded corner right here, and that gives that roundness to the petal.
And Creative
Same thing
Grids,
for here.
Creative Grids has a wonderful tool. It's called Folded Corners. So we'll touch on that on Sue's Sewing sometime.
Yeah, I'm sure as you're making the table runners for the month, you'll find a lot of,
Yeah,
when you're doing
February.
this book, I do a lot of folded corners. So.
February has a couple folded corners, so you'll see the tool.
Yep.
But yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you. It was fun to make.
Someone just asked, what is the name of this book? Because they probably
bring
just...
it in.
Oh,
So all these
should we show it
runners-
again?
Yeah, all these runners that she's showing tonight are from her new book,
Trendy Table 3.
Yep, all of them are from, so can they hear you?
I don't know, so maybe...
Should I say it again?
Yeah, you can
Yep, these are all from Trendy Table 3. It's a book that just came out last week by Heather Mulder Peterson, Anka's Treasures. Anka is her grandma.
Great grandma. Yep.
Grandma.
Yep. She's the one who taught my mom how to sew, who taught me how to sew. So she has forever had her name as
sweet.
my inspiration. So
You bet.
okay, next one, another fall one up here. This one's
Gorgeous.
called Fall Colors, and as you can already tell, I love scrappy quilts. So this one is just made all from my stash. Any leftover 5-inch square you have or little piece, I just started cutting and putting them together and making those leaf blocks.
They're gorgeous. Absolutely
And
beautiful.
The little border, that's just made with the scraps from the leaf blocks. So I just found a way to use those up and make it work.
That
and
would, go ahead.
I was going to say, and again, that gray background just makes those vibrant
does.
colors
That
pop.
would make a beautiful quilt, a beautiful fall quilt.
Yep, you could
That's-
easily just extend your rows down, just add a few more rows.
A lot of years. If you go back up to the one that we 4th of July, that would make a beautiful quilt, a gorgeous quilt.
Yep, and you can even take elements like, say, just this block right here and just make it over and over, and you'd get a quilt out of it too.
Absolutely.
Pretty.
I didn't ask you this too ahead of time. Do you have the Kaufman yarn dyed Essex linen?
Oh, yes.
You do? Okay. So this is color graphite. Everyone always asks me what color gray I use.
Yep.
That is my go-to gray color. And the reason that I find it so interesting is it's called yarn dyed. So you have a gray thread woven this way and a white thread woven this way. And that's what gives you that little subtle texture that's in the background. So it's important to get that yarn dyed part in there. So I'm on bolt number 4 personally of that color.
Personally.
That's how much I like that color. So
we do that with a lot of grunges right now.
Yeah.
We're on like bolt gazillion million.
Oh, when you find a good basic that goes with your palette that you like to use.
Isn't it the truth?
Then you just kind of stick with that.
We do. We do.
Okay, so we've gone all the way across the booth. Let's go back to that corner that we missed over there. So this one right here, that one I called Florette, and I just love that fabric line by Basic Gray. I don't remember the name offhand, but I just like how those colors pop off of that navy background. And it's a very long, skinny runner. So I try to give you like a variety of different sizes so that you can use them around the house, because I don't just only put table runners on my dining room table. I have them hanging over doors or rolled up in baskets or hanging on the mantle on my fireplace. Or this particular one, the reason I did it long and skinny is I have a teal console underneath my TV, and it's this long, skinny space, and that fits that space perfectly.
Yep. Well, even with your braid one there, you can make that a single one instead of having both of those. That would be adorable too.
If you need a skinny one, or you add more pieces if you need a longer one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm finding some people have incredibly long dining room tables.
Yes. They don't have a small house like I do. They have big tables they have to try to fill.
and all their kids are gone. So this is just amazing. But their dining room table is like a half mile.
Yeah.
I swear it is.
Or their kitchen island. Yeah. So sometimes
absolutely.
you need something bigger. But I was going to show you my color option that I made for that one. I just did 3 blocks. So if you want to make it smaller, both of those sizes are in the book. If you buy a charm pack for this size, you're going to have a little bit left over.
What's so fun is there's orange in it. You can combine orange and pink, and you're getting by with it really well.
Yeah, this was a line by Riley Blake. I think Sandra Davies was the designer.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up. It's in the book. I usually list fabric lines in the book, so we can look it up if you need to.
Kind of cute.
This is, again, that Essex linen. I don't remember the color, but that one you can really see the texture that I was talking about earlier, that you get with the fact that it's called yarn dyed.
Yep.
That one is also. So you can tell I'm a big yarn dyed fan.
Yep, we just used that on a brushed cotton with Moda, and we used their gray, and it's really, like you said, it's beautiful because it's like gray black, and it's dynamite, or it was. It sold out right away. So yes, very pretty, very, very nice.
So let's go on to this Snowflake one. In the last 2 Trendy Table books, the more popular patterns have been the winter snowflake, Nordic looking ones. And I love Nordic looking designs. And the thing about living in Minnesota is if you make something with a snowflake, you can have it up for more than just December. I mean, you can put it out in November and sometimes keep it out till May, now that we want to. So I always like to include something that has that real winter, but not specifically Christmas type theme.
It's very geometric, and it's very pretty. I love it.
So it's not necessarily a beginner pattern. I will warn you of that. It's if you're ready to do something just a little bit more advanced, but it's all triangles. There's no templates. There's a lot of little half square triangles here, and this is like, gosh, I'm trying to blank on the name, just the a square with the folded corners on the outside, square and a square. And again, I mentioned I love colored backgrounds, and I love red colored backgrounds, especially with the snowflakes.
It's very pretty.
And then this is just inspired by, like, Nordic sweaters. You see borders going around the yoke or around the hem, and so I tried to incorporate that in there. And in fact, that idea I should have brought the napkin with, but I was at Christmas dinner at my in-laws last year, and the napkins had a snowflake design in the middle and a border similar to that on the bottom. So I saved that napkin and put it up on my bulletin board, and it became that pattern.
Isn't it amazing? Where do you draw a lot of your inspiration from?
Yeah, very random places sometimes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll see that.
Yeah, napkins. I don't remember. This one was a gift tag that had a snowman in the corner with a red background, and it had some blocks going across the middle, and they weren't necessarily quilt blocks, but I thought that could be quilt blocks. And so that's what inspired the Mr. Frosty runner.
So cute. That one is adorable.
That
Well,
one
all
was
of them
fun
are
to
cute.
make. This one has a little bit more character than some, and just specifically with the snowman. And there's a lot of basic blocks in this one, half square triangles, just basic piecing. The little nose starts out with just a rectangle that you mark the middle of the top and trim down to the corners. So a rectangle on either side and then square it up when you're done. So there's no template or anything involved in making that. And the points float just a little bit, so if you're not perfect, it doesn't really matter that much, as long as your squared up size is what the pattern says. And then this one uses a charm pack just to make the scrappies in the outer border. And this one uses that Snowdin collection of mine that's coming out in May, which I'll talk a little bit more about it as we go. This one's even going to be a little box kit in one of those little keepsake boxes.
You'll show it to them in a minute.
Yeah, I'll show that when we get to it.
Yes.
When I get to the other side of the booth here.
Very adorable.
And then within this fabric collection, there's a print that has the little ever popular little truck. It's not red in this particular colorway, but it is in the gray and it is in the blue. And it has all the trees around it, and so this kind of goes with that fabric, and that's kind of what inspired me to do the little red truck with the alpine trees and the little snowflakes in the background. You can see they kind of pair with those there.
Very well. It's super cute.
And if you look close, this is just half square triangle blocks. So
Seriously?
they look, complicated, but
They do.
they're all half square triangle blocks, and after you're done piecing your rows of half square triangle blocks, then you cut those two angles.
I was wondering how we were going to do those trees. I'm going, yeah, no.
There's still a lot of points to mess up, so I mean, or to match up, so I can't necessarily make that any easier, but just the technique of sewing those rows and trimming, that makes that part very easy. And this is just a blue rectangle that's cut diagonally, so no tool required for that either.
Very cute. Well, I'm glad you took all that work out of it for us. Thank you very, very much.
No problem.
So much nicer to make it. So once again, this is what we're doing for the month of February, which is floating back there again. So this is going to be at $30.59. The backing is included in it. And we'll be covering this under Sue's Facebook on Wednesdays. So the first Wednesday of January, which is already next week. We'll be building this on Wednesday in my sewing room. So every first Wednesday we'll be covering that, and we love all of these. We haven't, like I said, we haven't done a table runner of the month for several years, and it's time to do it. And everybody, you guys are super great and jump on board with us to do that. So let's show your other fun stuff, because you have a lot.
I was peeking over here, like, what am I going to go with next here?
I know.
While you're talking, it gave me a chance to think a little bit.
Yes.
I told Sue with COVID and everything, I haven't done any speaking since March, so I feel quite rusty, so I was trying to think ahead while she was talking.
Yeah, we remember she started this when she was a teenager, so she's not that rusty.
It just feels like it's been a while. I've been used to doing
has.
several events a month for the last how many years?
I know.
So anyways, we're going to show a few of the projects from the Trendy Table
it.
too.
Do you want me to hold
Well,
it?
actually,
You
it's better
talk.
for her to hold it, because then I can keep her in the
Oh,
Oh,
that's
okay.
right.
So I'm just going to show a few of the more popular things from this book. I didn't bring them all. We only have a half hour or so. So I'm just going to show you a couple of the more popular ones. So this is one of the star projects from the book. I love anything with stars, so you'll see a lot of stars in my books. But this one uses the Shades of Summer collection that I was talking about earlier, and then just a gray background to fill in with those prints. And then for those of you who are dog lovers, I brought the little Scotty dog runner from the book. And this one uses the little mini charm packs. Is that what they're still called now? The little 2.5-inch square packs. So one of those will do the little sweater on the dog. That's another one of those woven Essex yarn-dyed linen. And I have the coffee cups from the book.
Cute.
So this one is all from my stash, but you could also use 5-inch squares for this. And again, there's my favorite gray, and then just a little bit of applique because we needed some steam coming up out of our cup of coffee, which could also be a cup of tea or chai or hot chocolate or something if you're not a coffee drinker. And then this is one of the spring runners from that book called Hollyhocks. This one uses a charm pack and the Essex linen in a lighter gray. I don't remember the name of it offhand, But this is a super easy one to put together. Your charm square with a folded corner on each side. Make 4 of those, put them together. You have a really easy block. And then we have Dutch Girls. So this is one of the spring runners for the book.
Very cute.
I find that I don't do very many spring runners. I don't decorate for spring that much because spring is so short in Minnesota, it feels like. So usually 1 spring runner will do me. So that's my spring runner from that book.
Really good choice.
And then let's show the fall one.
This is probably one of my favorites.
So this one has a little bit more intricate piecing and getting the vine to wrap around the pumpkins, but I kind of think it's worth the effort for the way that it kind of forms a more unique pattern with, I mean, this is a pretty standard pumpkin block that you see a lot of, but this is a different way to lay that out.
There's one question. It says, in the book, does it list the skill level for each project?
Well, the new book, it does for a couple of the ones that are harder, but now that you asked that, I don't remember offhand if I did it in this book. I did not. But that is probably the harder one from the book. You know, the coffee cups has little pieces, so that could increase the degree of difficulty, but they're very simple little rectangles. And the little bones on this one involve some small pieces, so that could make it just a little bit more difficult, and really not that hard, but just maybe not, you know, your first project or something. And let's see.
This involves accurate cutting.
Yeah.
So look 5 times, measure 5 times, cut once.
That would help a lot.
Oh, that sounds like a standard life thing to do, doesn't it? This is gorgeous.
So now I just realized when I grabbed this one, this is from the first book. I just,
Oh, yippee-yay.
yeah.
So one person's going to win this one.
So yeah, if you are the lucky winner, you could make this Nordic table runner with these snowflakes. Okay, then let's show a couple new projects for patterns that aren't
Yippee-yay.
out yet, but they involve my Snowdin collection.
So what number line of fabric is this for you? Do you have any idea?
Well, with
Second.
Riley Blake, this will be my third. 4th is in the works, but I worked
Nice.
with Henry Glass before
Oh,
for maybe 10 years and did 20 collections or something with them.
Look how much you
So-
have under your belt. So where do you draw your inspiration for designing fabric?
You know, a lot of different places. The 4th line that I have in the works, I ended up taking my boys fishing all summer long. So they would sit on the dock and fish, and I had an iPad with me, and I just started doodling. And sometimes it would be flowers that were sitting there. Sometimes it would just be other ideas from my sketchbook.
Nice.
But sometimes with drawing, once you just start drawing, the ideas just kind of start coming.
No idea. It's kind of
So
like,
it's hard to say where the inspiration comes from because it just sort of happens sometimes. Yeah.
well, that means you were supposed to be a fabric and pattern designer.
Well, if you looked at my notebooks from high school, all the covers are totally, yes, doodled over. So that's why my designs look like doodles also. You know, it just kind of fits. That became my style, I guess.
It's in your brain. That's your genre.
Yep.
So this is Heather's new Christmas line that is coming out. It says on it when it's coming out.
May of next year. So, you know, I get early digital yardage. So I've got a bunch of the quilts that are made out of the collection so you can see how it works out. But it's my first time doing snowmen in a collection, so that's kind of fun. And I mentioned that I love like snowflakes on the red background, so I had to have those in there. So those two thoughts inspired those prints. I always have to have a main floral that draws, you know, all the colors together. I love dots, I love plaids to use for binding, and pretty soon the collection is full. And then there are going to be these wide backs with the giant snowflakes. So that was one of my favorite parts of the collection to draw because I love doing snowflakes. So let's show a couple of the quilts. Oh, and I was going to mention, this is that little keepsake kit box that I mentioned earlier. That'll be from that table runner.
Yeah, but if you guys have bought kits from Riley Blake before, their boxes are treasures to keep because they are made so well. They aren't little foldable boxes. They are keepsake boxes.
Yeah,
They're
that's what they actually
gorgeous.
label them. Yeah.
Do they?
Yep.
They're great. They're really pretty.
Okay, so let's show this big snowflake one. It might be a little harder for me to show the whole thing. I got to find the top. It goes this way here. So should I go underneath? Or we have a little cord here. I don't know if you can tell. There we
They're
go.
connected.
Okay, so yours is attached over your handle.
Okay.
There we go.
That'll give us a little wiggle room.
So, when I said I love snowflakes, I really meant it. I've been wanting to do a giant snowflake quilt for a long time. So this has been sort of in various stages of my sketchbook for quite a while. And when this collection came out, I knew I wanted to get that off the sketchbook and into a quilt. So it is made using the Creative Grids 60-degree triangle.
Oh, one of our...
So it's like everyone's favorite triangle ruler.
That's one of Sue's favorite rulers.
Yep, mine too. Well, you can use it for so many things, so it's very, very versatile. It's not one of those rulers you buy once and never use again.
Terry Atkinson also loves the 60 degree. She uses it many times. So
yep.
Super, super ruler.
So let me tell you a little bit about how the quilt is constructed. So, for example, there are, 6 big sections. They're big triangular blocks that you're going to make. So here's a triangle. I don't know if you can see the seam there, and a triangle here and here, and you put those 3 together, and that's your very first block. Then you're going to do, let's see, where am I here? Another set of 3 red triangles, and then sew them together, and then you're going to trim a little piece off and replace it with the white. And as you move further out, you're just going to take the big triangles and sew them together in rows on your way out to the outer edge of the quilt.
So this is going to be a pattern?
That'll be a single pattern.
Single pattern that'll be coming out in January?
Hopefully January. It all kind of depends on distance learning. I've become a homeschool teacher.
I know.
And I have a kindergartner who needs me to sit with him the whole time, and then I have to try to keep up with my 2nd graders. So I had intentions of getting it done sooner, but more important things came up. So I say that date kind of loosely.
You're with everybody else. 2020 has thrown a learning curve into everybody's life.
Yeah.
So is he doing compound sentences already in 2nd grade? I had a grandmother in today going, she's like, I just got kicked off of my teaching skill. She said, compound sentences in 2nd grade. Just like, yeah, that's not what we learned.
Well, I'm sure every school's doing things a little different.
Yeah.
I was more stumped with the Common Core math. That's, you don't carry the 1 like we used to, so.
No, they don't.
It's so weird.
It's different.
Doesn't it age you? Oh my gosh, it's like, you guys want to know an easier way to do this? And then let's try cursive. That's always a fun one. They're like, what is that? I'm like, it's a secret language.
Yeah.
Only grandmas
make it
know
more interesting to learn, yeah.
Yeah, only grandmas know how to do this, and now you know something good. This is absolutely beautiful. And if I made this, I love your colors and stuff, but I would do this in white and blue. Mm-hmm. We have a blue collection that's in the store right now, and another one that's coming out real soon that I think would just be stunning.
Yep. So the red and green makes it a little Christmassy, but if you did it in the blue and white,
oh my gosh,
or even gray or whatever, it'd be just very classic.
Absolutely. And if you guys have a big enough table to cover all of this, it would be absolutely outstanding.
And it's maybe not as hard as you think. If you've done 60-degree angles before, you'd be fine with doing it. The pieces are big, and that's what makes them a little bit more forgiving.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. I had fun with that one.
Oh, you had to. It's Nordic. It looks like us. So, Minnesota.
I got to find the top here. This one is quite big, so we're not going to be able to stand back and let you see the whole thing probably, but it's called the Snowdin Sampler.
Ooh.
So this one could be used, as a block of the month or anything like that, because it'll be broken down into like 8 different sections where you make the different blocks. So we'll start out with a couple of the easier blocks and then work our way towards the kind of the special block of the quilt, which is that big snowflake. So this is going to be a
pattern, or what's this going to be?
It'll be a pattern, but maybe just a little bit bigger? A few more pages and then your standard pattern.
So last July we did a pattern. We did a block of the week with Sue. I can't handle block of the months anymore. I get impatient. So this will be our Christmas in July block of the week with Sue. So you guys look at this and let me know if you want to do this, because this is going to be really pretty.
Yeah, and Riley Blake had asked me to do a sew along also, and we're going to start in June.
Oh, good.
So if you don't get to it,
no, we're going to tag with you. Heck,
well, you can say you have the fabric, and I'll help you with just.
Thank you. So why would I do this if I have you? So that would be perfect. It's because when is this fabric coming out again?
It comes in May. So we're going to hold off until at least June, and then it'll be, I can't remember if it's 8 or 10 weeks, we'll do a section a week. And I had a few people that were working, and they said, could we go every other week? But I didn't want it to be like a 4-month so long. It's going to be like 2 months. So
that's what we found with all of our block of the months. Everybody's like, Sue, can we get this done already? It's like, yep, let's do block of the week and we're good to go. And we did it in the middle of summer. Granted, everybody wasn't doing stuff this past summer, but It was so successful. Oh my gosh, everybody got their quilts done. They were happy. Our machine quilter was just very busy. But this will be really pretty. And it can end up with Christmas in July. And we're all ready.
Lots of good comments. They want to do the sew along. So.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So long. There's your pressure point. Now she has to do it.
No, I already committed with Riley Blake.
I
so
know.
yeah,
I
and
love
maybe there'll
Riley.
be a lot of other shops that are doing it also.
I love Riley Blake.
So either way, we've got you covered.
Yay! And I don't have to
Let me
teach it.
take
You
that
are.
corner.
Good deal.
And again, no templates in that one. It's a lot of half square triangles and folded corners. So the degree of difficulty is not too high on that one.
And it makes a beautiful quilt.
And then I have one last one to show, and I have no idea where I'm on with my time. I forgot to set my cell phone out.
Is anybody
So that I
leading
can
us?
look.
They're not leading us.
I feel like I've gone a little while, but
No, this is pretty.
so this one is called Let It Snow. So if you have my Angles with These 2 book, this was originally published in that book. So some of you may have already seen the pattern, but because that book is out of print, we're going to release it again as a single in January. But I just want to point that out so in case you've already bought it, you don't accidentally get it again. But this is what you can use this ruler for that we mentioned earlier, and there'll also be a template in the pattern. And this one uses 10-inch squares, so that's what you make these little trees out of. They're all strip pieced, and then all the scraps are used in the scrappy border. And you can also do this one with a white background. Let's see if I can find it in here, because they do have it right there. So you can
I
see
like
how
it in
different
blue.
it looks in the white or the red. I kind of like the snowy evening look, so
that.
that's why I have the blue.
Do you want me to hold it? I'll hold that up for you.
And I was
So
going to
this is
show
a-
the back.
This is Heather's lovely family, by the way.
It's a couple years
husband.
outdated, so the boys are a little bit taller, but yeah, that is
Very
us.
Adorable family.
So my son has, the fat quarter packs and stuff from Riley Blake come with this tag, and he snatched the tag, and it's hanging on his bulletin board.
Sure I did. Why
So
not?
that was kind of funny.
So
He's not
yes.
had his face on any of my products before, other than being in photos for the book. So like here they are, just a little bit older. They like to eat props. So
Oh, I know, because they were in the store the other day. Go to the July or February one. I had to give them some Dove's chocolates.
oh yeah, they recognized from the photo.
Like, here you guys. There you go.
Yep. And Sue, they just brought it up that that's what we eat at home, and Sue happened to have them sitting here.
Here you go, guys. It went really well.
So then I was going to show you, this is the scale of the wide back. That's from that collection.
Oh.
So that's how big the scale of the print will be.
Good. So that makes it, I like that one. So that's this one.
Yep, it will be in 3 colors.
It is pretty. Very pretty. The gray is going to go really well. Can I already tell you that?
And it's not one that has to be specifically for this collection. Those wide backs could be
No,
used for all
absolutely.
your different winter quilts.
Absolutely.
So, did we miss
Yippee-yay.
anything?
I don't think so.
So
Oh wait, we did. We forgot this
Oh.
one on the table. I just went over to there. So this is from Trendy Table 3. I'm totally out of order, but this is that snowflake that was up there,
Yep.
done in a bigger scale, because I always have to include a topper.
And it's not, which is really,
Yep, so if you have a little round table, that one works good for that.
really well.
There's another little star runner. That one's using my Wildflower Boutique collection.
Yep.
And then we're going to go kind of fast here. One last one. This is the only one from the book. Well, maybe there's a couple others that use jelly roll strips or leftover jelly rolls. So just 2.5-inch strips make that little woven plaid look. And I mentioned I love the colored background, so here's an example of another navy one. Again, that high contrast.
And
And this one we showed,
Yeah,
when
but
we
another
showed that
colorway.
one. I love the back on this
oh,
one.
that is so cute.
very dark.
Okay, now I
Perfect.
think I've covered everything.
Just repeat that they can go to the website and order anything on.
Yep, you guys, if you go to Gruber's Quilt Shop, on the front page it has Sue's Facebook faves. We have, or at the beginning of the evening, we had 4 of these left at Gruber's, and this is no longer made. So after that, you have to go to Creative Grids, and we'll tell you which ones you can use for this. But this is Heather's triangular, and it goes really well with her book that it was used with, which is this one. And this book is phenomenal. And a lot of the projects are on the back, which Maureen will show you. And you'll see that too. And a lot of them look like they're hard, and they're not. And I made I made several things out of here. And I remember thinking, yeah, I'm not going to make that. This one turns out beautiful because it looks like it's really hard.
It does look really hard, but it's super easy.
Oh, it was so easy to do, and those points all came out perfect. And going, I actually look like I'm good. So it's very fun. This is it done in brighter colors right here, but it's a wonderful spinning. It's so pretty. So it's a great tool. So I would jump on that one. We have this, and it's on Sue's Facebook page, and this is only $17. They don't make pattern books like this for $17 anymore. Just
you can't afford to print them for $17 anymore.
Nope, you can't. The world, as you guys all know, the world has changed a bit. So we are giving one of these. This is our very first table runner book, and this is the only one left in existence, more or less. So if you share and comment that you've shared, we're giving this away tomorrow at noon. So share away. Some of you will own that. This is your second one, which we do have at Gruber's, and we love it. Some of my favorites are in here, and Heather showed you a couple of those tonight. This book is $21. Her third book, which just came out right now, is $22.50. And this is the one that we're going to be following all year long and making table runners out of. Do you have a favorite one in here?
Probably the snowman one.
Oh, snowman.
Were you going to guess a different one?
I like watermelon. Well, actually, there's several in here that I like. I love this. When I make mine, I think I might not put the pumpkins in yet because I love both fall and that. This is, well, that's not fair. There's a lot of things in this one I like. It's really, really
Hopefully
cool.
there's something for everyone, and there's all your seasons are covered. So.
I agree with you. Totally agree with you on that. So we have a couple of this book left. Like I told you, it's very reasonable. Oh, this is the triangle ruler. The price.
I maybe covered up your sign. Yep, that one is $17.
Yeah, this is really reasonable. It's only $17, as you've seen. So we've got these. We have all of Heather's fabrics that are available in the store. We have a little bit of the summer one left, and I think we did some of them into third-yard bundles, didn't we? Do you know that, Marie?
So I don't know if we have any in stock anymore.
Well, we'd have to check.
Yeah, so.
But if you did have a third yard, you would get like probably 3 table runners out of it.
Absolutely. You know, we put 10 30-yard bundles together and roll it. And we did that with your summer one. Oh my God, they're just beautiful.
I saw that you had those on Facebook. They looked cute.
They are
really
adorable.
Great way to bundle fabric.
So if you guys have any questions for Heather, fire away. She's standing here right now. We are very honored to have had her. You've done a lot in your little life. So
Well, starting in January will be my 25th year in
Seriously?
business, so it's gone by really, really fast.
And you're so young.
Well, that's what happens when you start quilting when you're 18, I guess.
You're just as bad as me because I've done this for 40 years right now. And it's just like, seriously, Sue? I said, I know. I started when I was a teenager, just like you. Like I was telling you, I was ordering Hoffman fabrics when I was a teenager. And that's when they said, Sue, you can sell this. It's kind of like our motor rep, Eileen Taylor, who you knew really well, or still know, she's still very much alive, said, Sue, if anybody could pull off a Minnesota quilt show or quilt shop hop, you could do it. So people shouldn't tell me that because my brain just starts thinking.
All the ideas, yeah.
That was many years, just like you. You should do a table runner book. Why not? Here you go. Yeah. It's all great and it's all grand and they're all absolutely beautiful. So if you think about the dollar price of what these books are and divide it by the 15 projects in, it's a super great price. You can't buy a pattern for that. And you're getting these adorable different looks. Like I told you before, a lot of this can become a quilt very easily. And a lot of them, like Heather said, break it apart. They're gorgeous. You did an awesome job.
Well, I had fun
Did you feel
doing it. Yes. And I appreciate coming on. I told Sue, I think we talked about this earlier. She gave me a chance as a very young designer with some of my first patterns. And even when she was in Quilt Sampler, do you guys remember when she was named a top 10 shop?
That's right.
And she let me design her pattern for her for that. Can you believe that?
I should have brought that. Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful quilt. So I'll hang that in my sewing room on Wednesday to show you that because it's a gorgeous quilt. That quilt, we did it in both the brushed cotton by Moda, which you guys were wondering about because they just brought fabric back in brushed cotton because you can't find brushed cotton. I think it's a talent of Moda only that does that.
Okay.
And we did that in cotton, and we did it in your plaid. Remember You used to do fabrics that had black plaid in it. Everything you did had the black.
Everything was black and dark and muddy, and yes.
Yes, and it was great. So we did 3 colorways of that when we were in Quilt Sampler. We did the brush cotton, and on Wednesday I'll show that quilt to you because it's beautiful. And we did a brush cotton, and then when you did it in your plaid and your black. We went through over 500 of those kits.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It was
Wow.
my poor mother, Millie. It's like, just keep cutting, Mom. She's like,
We don't care if your arm hurts. We need more kits. Yeah.
I know. It's like, yeah, that's a rotary cutter, Millie. You can do this. But it was just crazy how many we went through. And Moda reprinted that line of fabric. It was designed by Sandy Gervais. And we just went through more and more. And they just said, just print it again. And that black plaid. Who made that for you? Because it was one company we got it from. They're not even in existence anymore.
What was it called? Because I used a lot of that fabric.
That's almost like your Essex. You had it in everything. Everything you made had this black plaid.
Yeah, it was
Which
kind of a
doesn't
gold
exist.
line. Yeah, it was a woven.
Yep.
But no, I don't remember the company.
It was really cool. So yeah, we went through a lot of kits. It was fun. See, there's
It was fun
history.
for me too. It was a very pinch me moment to be working with Sue on that. So
It was an honor. It was an honor having you because when they called and said, yeah, now you have to design a pattern, going, yeah, no. And I used to do that a million years ago, but then you have to make a choice. So what do? Do you run Grubers, or do you design patterns which you can't do it all? There's still only 24 hours in a day. Besides, I had people like you. So I'm kind of like Ellen DeGeneres. I have really great people. So
and we're all really grateful to have her thinking of us. So
no, I'm super honored all the way around. It's just, that's what makes this all work. We all work together.
it makes it a really fun industry.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I am so grateful to be in this industry, and it's just like, they say if you love what you do, you never work another day in your life. Shoot, it's been 40 years, and I just have loved every moment of it. And now at Gruber's, I think, I want to figure out what the average age of our staff is.
It's so young right now.
I think I'm the one who screws it up. Because I think the average age is around 35 at the most. If not, it's younger than that. And how great is that?
That is exciting news.
We have 3 amazing young kids running our yarn room. And, oh gosh, today we had 6 kids in there buying stuff because they were all knitting. And these kids, they were all maybe high school to early 19s. Did you see them when they were in today, Maureen? Oh my gosh, it was just, and they're all just buying a bunch of yarn. I'm going, this is so gratifying to see what's happening there. So I just let it go. You guys are doing good. I'll just be your little cheerleader in the background. So once again, I'll let you guys all go because now I'm starting to chatter. We are so grateful to have Heather. She lives in Spicer, Minnesota, so not too far away, but it's about an hour, right?
Close, yeah.
Close to an hour. So yes, by Green Lake Bible Camp, for those of you girls who used to go to Green Lake. So it's a good area. It's a great camp, which I don't know if it's running right now, but if it is or isn't, that's another story. Thank you guys for joining on us this Monday. If you have any questions, just fire them away. Heather has a website.
AnkasTreasures.com.
There you go. If you
Or
have
you
questions,
can find me on Instagram and a few other places too. So.
absolutely. So ask her, and if not, we'll answer questions for you at Gruber's. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank
So we're
you for
closing
having
off
me.
the year with Heather. So Wednesday you'll see me in my sewing room, and I'll be touching on some of the things that we've talked about tonight. But otherwise, we will not be with you on Thursday because it's New Year's Eve, and we are staying up at midnight this year to make dang sure we're pushing 2020 out the door. We are gladly welcoming 2021 inside. So
It's been a roller coaster.
yeah, it's a roller coaster. It's been an amazing year. I mean, there are things I'm so grateful for this year that beyond belief I could not imagine. And then there's the flip side. So I think everybody has lived that. So we are grateful to have you along on the ride. So thank you. We'll see you on Wednesday night in my sewing room.